Does the universe depend on you? This is a question that not only sparks the curiosity of those who are passionate about spirituality, but also intrigues those who are eager to explore the principles of quantum physics. In the modern world, quantum physics has opened up new possibilities for how we understand reality, while showing us that the universe is not a separate, independent entity, but rather a mirror that reflects exactly what we believe and think. If you've ever felt that the reality around you could change, or wondered whether we can influence the universe with our consciousness and energy, then today's topic will help you broaden your perspective on the deep relationship between us and the world around us. In this video, we will explore the quantum law of being, a principle that will completely change the way you perceive life and the universe. Join me as we discover how understanding quantum nature can help you adjust and transform your own reality. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest videos on spiritual topics, inner awakening, and philosophical insights. What if the universe depends on you? This is not just a philosophical question, but one that is gaining more relevance in the context of modern science. For centuries, we have operated under the widely accepted Newtonian model of reality, which suggests that the world we live in is separate from us. According to this model, humans are merely observers of a physical world governed by unchanging physical laws, such as gravity and thermodynamics. In this view, the universe is something independent from us, operating on its own, with us simply going along for the ride. But with the advent of quantum physics, things have changed drastically. Quantum physics introduces a new way of looking at reality. It challenges the traditional notions of separation and instead suggests that the universe may not be independent of us at all. Rather, it may be deeply connected to our consciousness. This is not just a new discovery in science. Many spiritual traditions have been teaching this very concept for thousands of years. For instance, the ancient philosopher Hermes Trismegistus famously said, "As above, so below, as below, so above." This principle conveys that the macrocosm, the universe, and the microcosm, the individual, are intimately connected. The world, as we perceive it, is a hologram, a light matrix, or a mirror. It reflects back the consciousness we project onto it. In essence, the way we view the world and interact with it has a profound impact on the reality we experience. Quantum physics is beginning to reach similar conclusions. One of the key ideas of quantum mechanics is that the observer plays a crucial role in shaping reality. The act of observing or measuring changes the very state of what is being observed. This is known as the observer effect, and it suggests that the universe is not a static, independent entity, but rather something that is shaped by the consciousness of the observer. This idea aligns with the spiritual concept that our perception, beliefs, and consciousness create the world we experience. In a sense, you might be the one causing reality to appear the way it does. The reality we live in might not be as fixed as we once thought. It could be malleable, shaped by the thoughts and intentions we project onto it. As quantum physics continues to explore the idea of the multiverse, the concept of infinite timelines emerges. This theory suggests that all possible outcomes of a situation exist simultaneously in separate, parallel universes. Every decision you make could potentially lead to the creation of a new world line, an alternate reality where different choices and outcomes unfold. This idea suggests that your actions, choices, and thoughts might not just influence your immediate reality, but they could ripple out into an infinite number of possible worlds, each one branching from a different decision or moment of consciousness. Neville Goddard, in his book Thinking Fourth Dimensionally, also explored the concept of multiple realities. He theorized that the fourth dimension, from which our three-dimensional world is derived, contains all the possibilities for your life. In other words, every possible version of your life already exists in the quantum field, and it's your consciousness that selects which timeline or world line you are experiencing at any given moment. This concept suggests that reality is not a fixed linear path, but rather an infinite set of possibilities, all available to you depending on the choices you make. So, what if the universe truly depends on you? What if, instead of being passive observers of a fixed world, we are active creators of the reality we live in? The idea that reality is not separate from us, but instead shaped by our consciousness, opens up limitless possibilities. It's not just about observing the universe, it's about recognizing that the universe is in fact a reflection of our own inner consciousness. This realization has the power to change everything. By understanding this, we can take control of our reality, consciously shaping the world we experience. It's a profound shift from seeing ourselves as powerless beings in a vast, indifferent universe to realizing that we are, in fact, the creators of the very reality we inhabit. In the realm of quantum physics, as Dr. Joe Dispenza suggests, there exists an infinite field of possibility, containing every potential outcome that you could possibly experience in your life. This field, often referred to as the quantum field, can be understood as the all described in the ancient teachings of Hermes Trismegistus in the Kybalion, a timeless concept that has persisted for thousands of years. In simpler terms, if this field contains all the potential outcomes of your life already, then what determines the specific timeline you are currently experiencing? What is it that chooses the version of your life you are living right now? Concept of time itself is another element worth examining. Time, as we understand it, is a construct limited to our three-dimensional reality. It is a helpful concept in navigating the linear nature of our daily lives, but it does not exist in higher dimensions. In the higher dimensions, all possibilities already exist simultaneously. The idea that time flows in a straight line and creates an illusion of past, present, and future is a product of our 3D world. But from a higher dimensional perspective, everything that you could possibly be, every possibility, already exists. So, what is it that dictates which version of your life you experience here in this particular moment? This is where the Newtonian model of reality is gradually being replaced. The Newtonian model, which posits that reality is a fixed, objective world governed by unchanging laws, is beginning to crumble. We are slowly shifting from a perception of separation into a collective awareness of unity. The quantum field, it turns out, responds directly to the consciousness that interacts with it through thoughts, feelings, and the state of being of the observer. The way this field manifests your reality is determined by your inner world, your beliefs, your assumptions, and your emotional state. In other words, you are not a passive observer of life. You are actively shaping your experience. The universe, or the quantum field, is like a mirror. Just as a mirror reflects back whatever you project onto it, the universe reflects back the thoughts and feelings that you hold. If you approach the mirror of life with a frown, it will reflect a frown. If you approach it with a smile, it will reflect a smile. The mirror depends on you to show you a reflection of your inner world. Similarly, the All, God, Source, the quantum field, mirrors your consciousness, reflecting back the reality that you project into it. The critical point to understand is that the All does not interfere with your freedom of choice. In fact, this is precisely what makes the experience of life so rich and meaningful. The All wants to experience unique adventures and diverse perspectives through you, the individual. Your freedom to choose is an integral part of the process. You have the ability, at any given moment, to change your experience. Just like smiling at a mirror, you can shift the projection of your reality. Over time, sometimes with a delay, due to the linear nature of the 3D world, your reality will shift to reflect what you are choosing to believe about yourself and the world around you. The delay you experience is not due to any lack of power or inability of the universe to manifest change, but because the 3D world follows a set of sequential events that must unfold in order for the shift to occur. Nevertheless, the change is inevitable. If you maintain your assumption and your belief about who you are, the universe must respond and adjust accordingly. It is like the mirror that cannot deny your reflection. The mirror does not have a will of its own. It simply reflects what is placed before it. If it did have its own will, there would be no authentic experience for you, the observer. The universe would cease to be a platform for your unique expression. This is where the beauty of the quantum field comes into play. The all has intentionally limited itself in order to have an authentic experience of what it is like to be you. It has made itself subject to the choices of your consciousness, because it is through you that it experiences the fullness of creation. The infinite universe has voluntarily confined itself to the form of your life, to this moment, in order to experience the adventure of you. In this world, there is a veil of amnesia that clouds our perception, making us forget our inherent connection to the all. This veil is necessary to create the authentic experience of life. Imagine that you are playing a virtual reality game where you immerse yourself so deeply that you believe the experiences within it are real. If you were fully aware that it was just a game, you wouldn't fear the virtual dangers because you'd know that your real self is untouchable and unharmed. But when you forget that it's a game, you feel the impact of every blow, every challenge, as if it were real. This is the experience of life in the physical world. We are all playing this grand game, forgetting that we are the creators of our reality. Just as in a game, the universe responds to what you project. Your thoughts, your emotions, and your assumptions are like the game controller guiding the course of your life. The quantum field, with its infinite possibilities, waits for your conscious input. And when you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with what you truly desire, the universe shifts to accommodate you. It's not about waiting for things to change on their own. It's about realizing that you hold the power to direct the game. This is where true empowerment lies. When you understand that you are not just a passive observer, but an active participant. In shaping your reality, everything changes. The universe, or the quantum field, is waiting for you to choose what you want to experience. It mirrors your inner world, reflecting back to you the potential that you embody. By understanding this process, you can begin to create your reality consciously, shaping your life in alignment with your highest desires and purpose. As you embrace this knowledge and realize that you are a co-creator of the universe, the separation between you and the world around you begins to dissolve. You are not alone in your journey. The universe itself is in sync with you, responding to your every thought and belief. With this newfound understanding, you can approach life with the awareness that you are not simply experiencing reality, you are actively creating it. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is falling apart, and we may find ourselves asking, how could a God allow this? Life can seem ruthless at times, and the pain we experience can be overwhelming. But here's the key. This God is not a separate being, distant and indifferent, doing these things to us. We ourselves are the creators of our own experiences. Through the law of being, we shape our reality, whether consciously or unconsciously, by how we use our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. It's like looking into a mirror. If you act irrationally or with negativity, the mirror will reflect back an image of confusion or chaos. It cannot show you a vision of success, peace, or joy if you are projecting the opposite. A few years ago, I found myself in a similar situation. All I wanted was freedom, but I felt incredibly stuck in my life. No matter where I looked, it seemed like the world was proving my beliefs right, showing me nothing but obstacles and limitations. Then I stumbled upon the teachings of Neville Goddard, and everything started to shift. At that point, I couldn't wrap my head around the idea that an all-loving God would subject me to so much pain. If this God truly existed, why would I be going through such hardship? Either I was doing something wrong, or perhaps the idea I had been taught about God was flawed. I had been conditioned to believe that God was a separate entity, that God had a will, and that God decided who would be saved and who would suffer. But through Neville's teachings, I came to realize that this view of God was not only incorrect, but also limiting. God, in fact, wasn't a distant being controlling my life. I was doing this to myself by misusing the laws of consciousness. The moment I questioned the nature of God, the universe responded in its own way. It didn't come as a direct intervention from a higher power, but as the revelation of Neville's teachings. I presented the question to the mirror of my consciousness, and the answer appeared through Neville. I realized that the power to shape my reality was within me all along. The life I was experiencing wasn't something imposed on me. It was a reflection of my inner state. At that moment, I made a conscious decision to change the way I use the law of being. Instead of focusing on the feeling of being stuck, I began to focus on the consciousness of freedom. I shifted my thoughts and beliefs, and just like a mirror reflecting my image, the universe began to respond in kind. My circumstances started to change, not because some external force intervened, but because I had changed my inner state. This experience taught me an invaluable lesson. We are not victims of fate or of a God who punishes or rewards based on some arbitrary will. The universe mirrors back to us exactly what we project. If we focus on lack, on fear, on being stuck, that's exactly what we'll see reflected in our lives. But when we shift our consciousness to reflect the things we truly desire, like freedom, peace, and success, that's when the universe begins to mirror those qualities back to us. The law of being is neutral. It doesn't care whether you choose to use it for good or ill. It simply reflects back what you project. The key is becoming aware of how we are using this law, consciously or unconsciously. When we understand that the universe operates as a mirror, we realize that it's not something separate from us, but something that works in tandem with our own consciousness. The concept of God, as I once understood it, was flawed. I used to think that God was a separate force, making decisions for me, but now I understand that God is within me. It is through my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that I create my reality. And just as a mirror shows us our reflection, the universe reflects back to us our inner world. If you want to change what you see in your life, you must first change what you are projecting into it. In conclusion, the idea that God is doing this to me is not only incorrect, but also disempowering. We are the ones shaping our reality. We are the ones looking into the mirror of the universe and seeing reflected back what we believe to be true about ourselves. By changing our internal state, we can shift our external circumstances. The universe responds to our consciousness. So if you are feeling stuck, as I once did, remember this: the answer is not outside of you. It's in your own consciousness, ready to be discovered and embraced. Mind you, the environment I once felt stuck in didn't change. What truly shifted was my inner world. For a long time, I lived in a condo that came with a free gym, but I didn't step foot in it for over a year. Why? Because even though the gym was there for the taking, I felt mentally stuck. My mind was trapped in a loop of limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns. I was surrounded by countless opportunities and free resources, yet I couldn't take advantage of them. Why? Because I was living in the consciousness of someone who believed they were stuck in life. The world around me hadn't changed. What had changed was my perception. I couldn't see the potential in front of me, even though it was there all along. This is where the power of the mind comes in. The more I resisted change within myself, the more I felt confined to a limited reality. When I shifted my thinking, however, everything changed. It felt almost instant, like a sudden realization. I began to notice the freedom around me. I saw the opportunities that were available to me, waiting to be embraced. These opportunities were there all along, like hidden treasures, much like the concept discussed in Acres of Diamonds by Russell. Conwell, in this story, a farmer hears about other farmers who have discovered diamonds on their land, leading them to great wealth. Feeling discontent with his life, the farmer decides to sell his acres of property to search for his own fortune, only to realize that his land was filled with diamonds all along. This tale is a perfect metaphor for life. The diamonds are often right in front of us, but we fail to see them because we are stuck in a limited perspective, a belief that we are lacking or unable to access the abundance that is all around us. The point is clear. Before looking outward for change, take a look inward. Who are you being right now? Are you someone who feels stuck? If so, the mirror will reflect exactly that. It's not just about the physical world around you, it's about your internal state, your mindset, and your beliefs. The quantum field, God, or the all, whatever you choose to call it, depends on you. It mirrors your inner world. The universe responds to your energy, thoughts, and emotions. You are the captain of your own ship, the master of your fate. This realization has had a profound impact on my life. For years, I felt trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. I hated my job, I felt frustrated with my financial situation, and I wished for freedom. But I didn't realize that the key to changing my circumstances was within me. I was waiting for the external world to shift before I would feel better. But what I didn't understand was that the shift needed to come from within. One day, I made a conscious decision to change my inner world. I began to project a new belief into the mirror of the quantum field. Instead of feeling stuck and dissatisfied, I started affirming to myself, I am earning a lavish, steady, dependable income, doing something I love with ease. This wasn't about wishful thinking or fantasy. It was about embodying the feeling of already having what I desired. The mirror, the universe, the quantum field responded. As I consistently affirmed my new belief, I began to notice a shift in my external circumstances. My financial situation started improving, my job became more fulfilling, and opportunities that had been right in front of me all along began to appear. The law of being, as Neville Goddard teaches, operates like a mirror. It reflects back what you project into it. If you project feelings of lack, frustration, or defeat, that is exactly what the universe will reflect. But if you shift your consciousness and project a new belief, one of abundance, possibility, and freedom, the mirror will reflect that back to you. The universe is not separate from you. It is responding to your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions about yourself and your life. The reality you experience is not something imposed upon you, but something you are actively creating through your inner state. This is why I now understand that the external world is just a reflection of my inner world. When I felt stuck, I was projecting that energy into the quantum field. But when I shifted my beliefs, everything around me began to change. The external circumstances, the job I hated, the financial stress, the sense of limitation, began to shift in response to the new consciousness I was embodying. It was as if the universe had been waiting for me to see things differently, to wake up to the power I had within me, I also realized that the world around me is filled with opportunities and abundance. There are diamonds all around me, just like the farmer in the story, but I had to open my eyes to see them. The gym, the free resources, the opportunities, they were always there, but I couldn't access them until I changed my inner world. Once I shifted my mindset and began to believe that I deserved more, that I was worthy of freedom and success, the universe began to reflect those beliefs back to me. The mirror is a powerful tool. It doesn't judge or discriminate. It simply reflects what you project. This is why it is so important to be mindful of what we are thinking, feeling, and believing about ourselves and our lives. If we continue to see ourselves as stuck, unworthy, or limited, the universe will mirror that back to us. But if we see ourselves as empowered, capable, and deserving of abundance, the universe will reflect that back to us as well. The shift I experienced in my life was not about waiting for external circumstances to change. It was about realizing that I had the power to change my inner state, which would then shift my outer reality. I began to take ownership of my thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. I stopped waiting for something outside of myself to change, and I started changing the way I viewed myself and my life. This is the power of the law of being. It is not about wishing for a better life. It is about embodying the consciousness of the life you want to live. Once you shift your inner world, the universe will reflect that change back to you. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. The power is within you, and the world is waiting for you to claim it. So, ask yourself, who are you being right now? What are you projecting into the quantum field? And are you ready to see a new reflection? Because when you change your inner world, the outer world will follow. Thank you for watching. If you learned something from this video, please like, subscribe to the Top Hidden Knowledge channel for more content on wisdom, spirituality, and personal growth. Or, if you have time, check out other videos on this channel. Until next time.